One more thing we have on the approach game is part of self-knowledge is to understand your course strategy. We've got long tee shot, mid tee shot, and short tee shots. We're not going to discriminate here and say that which one is better than the other. Of course, you always want to be closer to the hole if you can do it under control. If you cannot control it, it doesn't help you to be OB or in the water, hitting it longer. Medium tee shots generally is what most people will hit. Then you do get the shorter tee shots. The thing you're going to have to understand though is the knock-on effect. So from the tee, you're going to hit a long shot. So the irony is people will focus on the long shot, but then will say that the inside wedge range doesn't mean that much. But the thing is, once you hit it longer, you're going to have shorter approaches in. So your short irons, like maybe 8-iron down, need to be really sharp. Now, because you're hitting 8-iron and down into the green, you're going to be getting a lot more greens in regulation if you're hitting a long tee ball in control, which means you're going to have more lag putts. You're just going to have more putts from longer because you're hitting the green in regulation. So you want to work on the lag. You want to get it. You want to start putting to a tee on the practice green. You want to start actually, getting the ball close enough and even maybe holding some 30, 40 footers, but you want to make sure of the 2-putt. And then because of this, you're going to have a lot more 10 to 20 footers for birdies because you're going to be able to hit more greens in regulation if you're under control. The other part of this is that because you're shooting more at flags, you have higher angle of descent into the green, means you can carry things and stop the ball quicker. You're going to be on the short side a lot more because you're going to be shooting more at the flags if you have the ability. Otherwise, go for the middle of the green. That's why I say a lot of lag putts. But if you do start shooting at pins during your confident periods, you're going to get short side a lot. So you're going to have to start working on different chipping around the green. Some higher lofted shots, some bunker splashes from the rough. You're going to have to adapt your strategy. You hit medium length tee shots, you're going to have a lot of mid irons. You're going to have a range. You're going to have from 8-iron up to 4-iron or a hybrid into the green. So you're going to have to work on that part. You can do your tee shot and get used to it, and then you want to be great with your mid irons and upper end of your irons. But that because you're hitting longer shots in, it means you're going to be chipping a lot more and you're going to have a lot more short pitches, which means you need to practice your chipping and your short pitching. And because you're chipping a lot, you're going to have to be great inside 5 to 6 feet to convert the chips, convert the longer putts, and make sure of a 2-putt. We don't want 3 putts ever in this game. You must always be working toward the 2-putt. It's not unrealistic. You just have to practice. If you're hitting short tee shots, just accept it. Just accept it. So someone like Didi, for example, understood he would not be competing with people on distance, which means he's going to have longer approaches in. Often people will be hitting hybrids, fairway woods, maybe a 6-iron, 5-wood, 5-hybrid, 3-hybrid into greens. So you have to practice them. There's just nothing you can do about it. At that stage of your golf career, that's where you are, right? We all start somewhere. I started here as a kid, went to there as a teenager, as an adult I went to there. And I'll show you something after this. If you're hitting longer shots in, you're going to have pitches and longer chip and runs in because you're going to have to start aiming and knowing your shot shape of your longer approach clubs, therefore leaving you entrances to the green, longer chips, pitches. And because of the longer chips and pitches, you're going to have a lot of things inside 6 foot to save your pars, save your bogeys. But we always want to remember, no 3-putts in any of these. You don't want to be 3-putting. That's why we say work back from the hole. Get those putts sorted, get yourself inside 6 feet. It's always important wherever you play. Now, the interlinking of these, this is the best part about golf. You got used to short tee shots. You worked your handicap down a little bit. You got a bit more speed. You got a bit more distance. You've developed that shot. This is in your bag. This is in your bag. You've got a little 5-wood ski. You've got a little 3-hybrid ski. Bam. Now you got those sorted. You've got a little 30 to 50 yard pitch. Bam. You've got a chip and run. You can use a pitching wedge. You can use a 7-iron, whatever. You know how to do it. And now you're great inside 6 feet because you've been a scrambling man. Now remember, because we only hit as amateurs between 2 and 8 greens out of 18 per round, we are, by definition, by default, because we're only hitting 8 out of 18 maximum, sometimes you may have a good day, you're missing 10 to 16 greens around. That's more than 50%. If you're missing more than 50% of the greens, it by default means you are a scrambling man. That's why we focus on scrambling in amateur golf, because we are not playing pro golf. We are playing hobby golf. That's why there's a lot of focus on scrambling. So we move from the short. So let's say we go from hitting a 5 wood or a 3 hybrid off the tee, and we actually develop a little 3 wood ski or a driver ski, right? But let's say you don't have the biggest power in the world, and you start hitting a little bit longer off the tee. You're no longer hitting 5 wood skis, but you have it as a go-to club. If your driver or 3 wood's not working, you have a go-to from your prior experience. You see, there's no black and white here. You're getting good while you're being bad. It's a natural ebb and flow, and as you age, as you get stronger, it's a bit of a bell curve. You start off young, and then you get to your 20s to 30s, and you're hitting it longer in that period. Here you're a junior, here you're a senior, and you go between this depending on form as well. So you've now got that. Now you need to be developing your 6 iron, your 7 iron, your 5 iron, okay? So maybe you didn't have it much here, but this is the part you have to now focus on. Your chip, you've been chipping. You've got the feel. Your short pitch, you've got the feel. You're still good inside 6 feet. Do you see how this is a constant for whatever part of the game you're doing? You want to be a good putter. You want to be good inside 6 or 5 feet. You don't want to be 3 putting. Then you may, maybe you're getting a bit more confident. Maybe you're developing a bit of lag, bit of speed. Maybe you're learning how to rotate through the ball. You're starting to up the speed, get a bit longer, and you may be hitting long bombs, right? You may be 250 plus. That's going to leave you shorter clubs in. If you've developed your 5 wood and 3 hybrid, and you've developed your 5 iron, 6 iron, 7 iron approach, the short approaches are a piece of piss, players, a piece of piss. If you can hit a freaking 7 iron, you can hit an 8, a 9, and a pitching wedge into the greens. You can. And you can hit your 54, your 50 degree into the greens. But then we have to prepare our mind for the lag putt. You've been pretty good at putting here. You're probably not getting that many 40 footers, 35, 60 footers. Maybe you are, but this is the time you're really going to have to focus on that part of the game to be sure to 2-putt. You're going to have a lot of arsenal in your shot selection. So you're going to have all this stuff developed. You can see as you move this way, you're just picking up shots in your bag. You're just picking it up. So never get discouraged. If you're a freaking short hitter, long approaches, this is where you learn course management. This is where you learn how to manage a game with what you got. Because when you get this way, you got a lot. Okay? You learn to play with what you got a lot. And then when you get here, you got Maximundo. Okay? You have everything. No one starts the game here. No one starts the game here, because anyone who's shooting 100 and anyone shooting over 90, and they're saying that their average tee ball is 275, 290, 300, they do not have the average tee ball of 290, 300, whatever. Because if your score does not show anything in relation to the length you hit the ball, it means you're hitting the ball too hard and you have no control. So you learn control. You learn golf is hard. You learn a way to get around. You learn a way to get yourself to a 10 handicap, 15 handicap, something like that. And then you start going, you know what, I need more. Bam. Little longer tee shot. Okay, got to develop the mid-iron game. This stuff's been taken care of there. Okay, we move over this way. Now I'm a complete golfer. I'm learning how to control my long tee shot, and I'm learning to lag putt. Everything is tied together. Everything is tied together. Do not be discouraged. If you're in these 2 categories here, you can find a way around the golf course. You just need to understand what lines up with your strategy. If you can do that, you will be the player you were meant to be. It means you have learned a lot from the stroke shave system. This is amateur golf. We do not play professional golf. We do not play this majority of the time. We're in this section over here, and we have to understand one more piece of information, and that all of this means nothing. Means nothing. Why do I say means nothing? Because there's one big piece of information you have to understand as an approach player, especially because the tee ball can go off the boil, but if you've been a clever boy and you've looked at these systems here and the strategies and you've developed go-to shots, you will have a go-to shot to get you back in play, even when you're in terrible form. You will keep your short game strong when you're in terrible form. The one thing that disappears a lot in bad form is you lose the approach game. you lose the approach game. The approach game depends on form. When you have a good form, you have A game, B game, okay? Then you have the C game and the D game. Then you have the E game. Most of the year, you're going to be in this position here. This position here, you keep your scores down with the short game and getting in play. That means course management. That means keeping that short game strong. There's only 1 to 3 times a year where you're going to have the B game, and 1 or 2 periods where you have the A game for 1 to 4 weeks, and that's where your scores come down, your handicap comes down, and that's what you're chasing the rest of the year, the rest of your life. Please understand that you will go through A, then you're going to hit B, and then all the way down to D. You're going to get depressed, you're going to get upset, then you're going to hit a bit of C and B, and then you're going to go back down to D, E even, then you're going to hit B. You're going to get really hopeful. Then you're going to go down to D. And then you hit A for no reason. These roller coasters here, you have to be careful. Understand that when you are playing well there, this is A and B game. When you're playing well there, it seems a bit more effortless. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Okay? Enjoy it, because you know what's coming. You have to understand that. So then understand though, once you're in the D and E game, just keep going. Don't whine. Keep that short game strong. Get the ball in play. Eventually, you'll come out of it. It's probably something emotional, something to do with your life, your wife, your dog, your kid, your job, something like that. Give it a bit of time. You're going to hit the B and the A game again. But realize these A games come 1 to 2 times per year. Remember, everybody has this. Form is very key. Don't get down. Feel the downness. Feel it. Don't get too upset. Don't go finding too many fixes. Take a little break. Come back. Rejuvenate your joy for the game, and you'll come back up onto the crest. Very important. This can affect your approach game the most, because short game is very easy to practice, and getting the ball in play is pretty simple from a T-peg that you can control. But the form comes here. Understand it. Believe it's going to get better. Understand it's going to get worse. But let's just live for the good days.